how to effectively manage your child's screen time is what is today's program. And I'm Jaypriya Devi. I'm your parenting coach and educator who will take you through today's program. So, screen time, before we even go into screen time and all that, what are all the different types of screen time which we, go through in a day? So we see, TV. If you have a TV at home, you see some TV as a family time or alone. Use your mobile. Your kids use their mobile, and then there is laptop, and then there is iPads, tabs, and then there is the gaming devices. All those things contribute towards the screen time. So apart from this, there are also these days smartwatches which are being given to children for I don't know what reason. It measures, I guess, children's heart rate and calories and all those things. But then let's just limit to these four major devices which is used by majority of kids, more so now than ever. So what happens because these children use so much of screen time? We have seen that cyberbullying has been very high. Recently, I was a part of a panel discussion where one particular person was reviewing the games and indulged in cyberbullying and earned money out of it. Also, in the process, destroying the morale of so many children who have been his followers. Being cool has been defined by what they see in all the Netflix series and all that. Advertisements which come when you're actually watching some programs, online programs, some of these YouTube videos are may not be appropriate to your child. Accurate informations cannot be Wikipedia search. Those are actually things which have to be researched and received. But then right now with just WhatsApp forwards, we receive so much of information, most of which is inaccurate. So all those things, much more than this, are actually problems of using screen a lot. Apart from that, just the time which children spend on being on screen is something which is not that good per se. As in, it leads to lower grades, it leads to communication issues, their sleep gets deprived, there's obesity issues, there is mood swings, and so many other things. And children being on social media platforms actually again provides them with lots of bad things like poor self-image, body image, and missing out in their social circle. So many things are actually part and parcel of this uh, digital media lifestyle that we are encountering in the past couple of years. While most of you are in the age group of have got kids in the age group of 2 to 10, we might not go much deep into that, but let's focus on what are all the other ways in which they consume the digital media. And for that, you have to understand what are the most important uh, consumption patterns which your children might be using. The passive consumption patterns are just seeing some videos, just seeing some watching some programs and all that. Interactive consumption is browsing and playing games and such stuff. Communication is video chatting and using social media. Content creation is actually using the the apps and all that to actually make music or make art or write a blog, so many things. So these are the four ways in which generally screen time is used. Now the fifth one is right now online schooling. So now that online schooling has become extremely prevalent, the digital media usage of children has come under severe scrutiny, and that is the scrutiny which we are also going to look into and see how much our children can uh, be device addicted, how much, what actually constitutes to addiction, what is not, and all that. Let me just okay, before I go further, I'd like to tell you that after the end of this program, both on Facebook and in this Zoom meeting, we will be sharing with you a feedback form, and that feedback form will have a portion where you will be sharing your email ID and all that. There will be a lot of content which we will be sharing with you in that after you fill up that feedback form. one of which will be what is the age group, for which age group how much of screen time is allowed, and what kind of screen time can be allowed. uh, what should you as parents know about it, and some of the parental control apps, and some of the allowed apps, 5 top apps which your children can you can use for your children, and all those things will be shared with you at the end of the program, after the program is done. So let me take you through this. This is actually from American Association of Pediatricians, and we have received this as a a guideline, 2021 guideline. How much screen time can children use? So 0 to 18 months, mainly we ask parents also. Even earlier, we used to ask parents to not even take flash photography for of children, because their retina, their cornea is all under development just then, and usage of devices is something which will affect their vision in a long term. So maybe video chatting with people, relatives who are not around and all that is something okay, but zero screen time until 18 months is what we recommend. So parents who are all used to switching on the YouTube videos and then feeding your children, please revisit that strategy. There's a lot more that you could do with your children than just play videos. Then comes the toddler age, which is 1.5 to 2 years. Little bit of focused learning programs can be provided to them, which is again not something too much. I mean, don't aim to teach your children all the concepts which they will be learning once they go to school. Just focus on, probably a little bit of reading exercises, reading activities, and all that. That should be more than enough. Then comes the young kids, the preschoolers. The preschoolers will who fall in the age group between 2 to 5. For them, their own device can be provided now, because they are all going through online learning and all that. But it should be very much limited to educational videos and activities, and not more than 1 hour after their school time. Even the school time is recommended to be anywhere between 45 minutes to 1 hour. So after that, maybe another hour they can spend online, but not more than that. Older kids older than 6 years, they will certainly be having their own devices and all that. Anywhere between 3 to 5 hours is the recommended time for them. Mainly they can use this for learning some computing skills, or creating activities, rather than just communication or gaming and all that. So we'll be talking about how you can scrutinize your child's screen time, and how you can devise a screen plan and all that. Just give me a minute, please. One deliverable which you will get after this program, or during the course of this program, is you will be able to devise your own family's screen plan. So you might be wondering, what is screen plan? As we go through this program, you will understand what that is. So yeah, this is a infographic from CDC, Center for Disease Control in USA. How much time do children spend on an average in front of TV, instead of what they could, or they could be doing, and how can parents help to get over this? We will be sharing this also in your email. So ages 8 to 10, typically they are spending more than 6 hours a day, and most of it is just passive consumption. It is not to it is not like they are creating some apps, or they are going and creating art or writing something. No, either they are on Instagram, such social media platforms. They are trying to create content there, or they are just consuming the content created by others. So that is the time spent by children right from the age of 8. And we are surprised that children even at the age of 9 and 10 have got their own Instagram accounts. Instead of going to their parents account, they have their own personal account, and they're able to browse through that. This is also something which has come to light recently. So parents, if you are um, ardent users of social media, do have an eye out for what your children are doing on social media as well. This is for children in the age group 11 to 14, the pre-teens and teens, and they get to spend somewhere like 8 to 9 hours a day in front of screen. Most of it is, social media and passive consumption. So here, what CDC recommends is at least 1 hour of physical activity a day is important for children. How you bring about it is all something which you'll have to strategize with your family. Limiting it to 1 to 2 hours is okay. Anywhere more than 8 hours a day of screen time is equated to addiction. Anywhere more than 8 hours. Please note this point. Why 8 hours and more? Because 8 hours of your children spending online, either by watching passive communication programs or having interactive video games or anything, could amount to become an addiction for children. Remove devices, remove as many, if you have like around 6 or 7 gadgets in your house, first start by reducing one a week, and make sure that you have only those which are required. If you have a work phone and a home phone, keep your work phone at a workplace in your office itself and go home, because only the emergency calls you could take from home. Otherwise, all these things actually amount to your child modeling you and following that kind of a behavior. Start doing some kind of a social activity together, either physical activities or going on a trek or playing some sports or some things like this, which will be more engaging and interactive rather than just reading a book and all that. Because probably reading a book might not be very interesting for your children, but certainly physical activities or just going out somewhere for even a drive might be interesting for your children. So screen time recommendations, we've already seen this. This will also be shared with you. These are some of the parental control applications which we have got as the recommendations. And Net Nanny has been around for a long time now. Even now, it reigns as the best screen control app, parental control app for kids. And this list and more than this will be actually shared with you in your email. Some of the apps which generally we use online are some things which you'll have to be aware of. When we before we go into this, before we start talking about this, I want you to observe these two screens, one on the left and one on the right, and I want you to tell which looks more attractive in, if you are looking at it in terms of your children's vision, which one looks more attractive, the one on the left or the one on the right? Your vote. There's a reason why I'm asking this. Okay, Shant says left, left, right, left. Okay, okay. Wow. All right. So there's a reason I told you, no? There's a reason why I said the one on the left. And we have almost, let me give you a, okay, including all the private and the public comments which are here, the vote goes to the one on the left, which is this, rather than this. Why? There should be some reason why the one you have voted for the one on the left, right? Why is the one, those who have chosen the one on the left, why do you think the one on the left is good? Image is bigger and it is colorful. Okay, right? More color and there is more detail. So when you look at the image on the left, you see that there is more detail, there is more uh, the way in which, as an educator, I would say the way in which it is progressing, it is structured. It means that they have put their thought process into this and devised this, rather than just picking things which are available free of cost and then put together some framework. I'll tell you why we are talking about this. Generally we tend to download lots and lots of apps on our phone, and our phone becomes like one huge dump yard with lots of free apps which are there, most of which are monitoring us, tracking us, and all that. The reason why we go for such apps is those apps are free. We don't know what are the policy privacy guidelines which they are having. We also don't know if the information which they are providing to us is relevant, is age appropriate, or is the usage something which is complete, given in a fully formative manner and all that. Yeah. Yes. So this is actually the reason why we recommend for you to identify the paid apps and go for them. Why paid apps are important? It's not like, we are recommending any apps over here. I'm just asking you to follow some guidelines on finding out which is the app which is good for your children, and then getting them to follow that. We are seeing too many incidences of cyberbullying. We are seeing too many incidences where, phones getting hacked, information getting leaked, and that leading to lots of other problems as well. And we feel that, to in order for us to control all those things, it is important that what we download has to be monitored, and first of all reviewed, researched, and then downloaded. And that is why we generally suggest paid apps. And also paid apps, we would want you to do a little bit of research about the paid apps and go ahead. I'll also give you the guidelines on what kind of research you have to do to download those apps. Paid apps generally, they'll give you a full usage. Paid apps, the reason why you are paying them is because they pay people who are creating content, who are creating these apps and all that. You can ask them question, you can seek support from them. You can tell them, okay, fine, I'm having trouble here, I've paid you money, give me support. And that you cannot ask in a free app. You can flit from one free app to another and another and another, as long as they give you support and all that. But a paid app generally has got a logic towards it, has got a goal towards improving people who are using the app and themselves as a company. So it is always, it makes sense for you to invest in these apps which ask for payment. And also see if it is, the payment is nominal. It doesn't mean that you have to go for the highest costing app and all that, but something which is nominal. So let me take you back to that thing. This is a paid app and this is a free app. And this is a app which has been there even before apps were actually there. Only as a website it used to be there, and now the same content without changing this a font in that particular website I have been seeing since my child was a toddler. Now she's in 10th grade. And this is an app which is actually a paid app, very nominally paid app called Square Panda. And this app, they provide with completely developmentally appropriate reading readiness program for children. So the reason why I'm talking to you about this is that developmentally appropriateness and completely researched and leveled program, these are the things which you will be able to get out of this thing. Not just that, one most important aspect of all those things is, you as a parent, you should know what your children are doing. And when you pay for any educational app and you get that, you will be able to track what is happening. You will also know how far they are completing a certain concept, and how well they are completing a certain concept. These are things which you will not get in a free app. Maybe what happens is, you will get those you'll get all those free apps, and the moment you ask for a report, they will say you have to pay for this, and then you'll leave that and then go to the next app. So this is a behavior which I very badly wanted to educate about, because this is something, which um, people are making use of. Companies which wants to track you, companies which wants to hack you, they make use of such behavior of people, and get them to give information about themselves, or get them to give a space in their mobile from where everything else can be accessed. So that is why we ask you to be cognizant of what you are actually downloading for your children. So now you know the difference between a paid app and a free app. But how do you even choose such an app? First, first and foremost, what you will have to remember is that particular app developmentally appropriate for your child? Let us take the example of coding. All of us want our children to be great in coding and all that. And there are zillion programs which are offering coding. What happens is when you download such an app, how to prevent 3 to 8 years old? Okay, Ravinder Kaurji, I might not be able to show this again, but in our Facebook group, this once this program is over, the recording will actually be there. You can go through the program again and you can see that. Thank you. So what happens is this developmentally appropriate programs which are there, sometimes because we want our children to be something and to do something, we will push them towards something. Like, coding is one such example which I wanted to give. Many a times coding is given to children who are not at all interested in that. That child might be interested in reading. Instead of providing a reading application, or getting the child to become a better reader, we push the children into coding because that is new and in vogue, and people who are in that particular who are software developers and all that will see that as a career opportunity for children. Career opportunities can be developed at any point of time. Yes, coding is also important for children, but not at the cost of the four basic things which children need: reading, writing, mathematics, and science. So, these four things, the core, are some things which you will have to focus on. After that comes the logical readiness part, which is when coding is all important. Yes, coding is important, but after the core of their learning. So, first choose what is developmentally appropriate for your child. Second, see how much of it is getting downloaded. How many downloads had happened. Go through the reviews, see how much star rating they have got in Play Store and all that. Also, see if they have some sort of an approval from any international organization. Next is most important thing: does it come with any extra support or learning material? And those kind of learning materials are the ones which will actually help you uh, become get your child to have a blended learning approach. Online learning, as much as it is good, has to support offline learning. Online learning cannot stand alone on its own, especially under the age of 10. The online learning is more to be like a blended learning rather than completely virtual. So, what is going to happen after this pandemic is over? Is online learning still going to continue? That is not something which people have figured out yet, but there are lots of people who have done research and are actually changing the guidelines and all that, so that online learning will continue as a complementary thing rather than replacing the whole teaching community. So complementary activities, complementary apps will continue their journey towards into your child's life even after the pandemic is over. So it is not like, you don't need any app, your children doesn't need any device after the pandemic is over. Choose safe devices, choose something which is very simple, basic, but at the same time is something which can be sustainable for a long time, has safety features, antivirus and all that. That will actually help your children become more will use this device for a longer run. Immediate steps which you can take as a family: first is monitor your child's screen time. So monitoring your child's screen time means not being on their app all the time and seeing what they're doing and all that all the time. That will actually be more like intrusion. Depending on their age, you can be co-playing or co-working with them rather than intrusively asking, what are you doing, why are you doing this and all that. Plan in the morning itself what are all the activities or apps which they are going to be accessing in the day. Even if it is social media, or even if it is some gaming and all that, plan it in a day. You might be thinking, oh, as if children will say. Yes, children will say. Yes, they will be if you are communicating with them, if you are interacting with them, then they will actually be able to tell you without any hesitation on what they are going to be doing. It's okay if children are spending half an hour or something like that on playing games online. It's okay if they are watching some YouTube videos, but put a timeline for that. Explain to them, talk to them, tell them why it is important for them to save their eyes. These days, there are some lenses, blue lenses, which are available, blue glasses, which are available, which helps them from getting affected by the rays of uh, the screen and all that. It's called blue lenses or something like that. Do some research on that. We'll also do some research and we'll share those info on our Facebook group. Please do some research on that, and get those kind of glasses to avoid long term eye the screen exposure for your children. Know about apps, take little more interest in what they are doing and know more about those kind of apps which are there in the market. This will actually help you in setting guidelines for your children, setting your family's screen time and all that. Always have some kind of a screen time control apps, media control apps in your mobile and also in other people's mobile. Screen free hour of the day is something which we always recommend to all the parents. So what is screen free hour of the day? Having 1 hour completely away from all types of screen. It's not like TV is allowed or something like that. Any type of screen, you just go away from that. Be as a family, write something. I mean, there are some bizarre ideas that I have given. Maybe one day you all can write a letter to some relative and post it. Reading a book together, all of you, making a fort on the bed and stuff like that, or some of the bizarre ideas which I have actually shared over here. But it is important that you all start having a screen free hour of the day. Initially, it will look very difficult, but with discipline, you will be able to plan that. So if you are asking how could we do that, you're just saying, have 1 hour free. You have no idea how difficult it is for me to, get out of the phone because my work is so important and all that. We are here to help you because we will also tell you how you can plan your day to have that one free hour for being screen free. Family screen plan. I don't know if it is commonly available these days across India, but anywhere in the Europe and US and all that, we have seen that family screen plan is something which has become a norm in a homeschooled or parenting coaching related households, families. So what they do, what they have few things which are, in your family screen plan, few things which are mandatory. There are zones in your house which has to be screen free zones. So it is like, like a vehicle free street or something like that. Make one room to be screen free. Inside that room, if you go, you should not have your screens. So any type of screen you have to avoid there. So you have to leave your phones and all away, and then you have to go into those places. Another is screen free time, which I just told you about, so 1 hour screen free time and all that. Then device curfew, even if it is 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock or 10 o'clock, whichever is the time which is convenient for all of you, have a device curfew time. After that, mandatorily, everybody has to switch off their mobile or put it on silent and sleep. Interaction type, what kind of interactions you can have with, if the screen is on, it can be a co-view kind of an activity or a co-play kind of an activity. Of course, children need their own individual screen time also, but as much as possible, make it co-view or co-play so that individual time comes down. Have a screen time rule chart or something, make it interesting, write it down in beautiful font and all that, decorate it and stick it in some place where you all can see. This is a recreational screen time rule. I don't know if you all had this problem when you guys were growing up. When we were growing up, there was one TV, and we used to fight for the remote control. And we had a rule that, from this time to this time, my brother can have the remote, and the next hour I can have the remote, and then the next hour my parents can have the remote, and all that. So this can get translated into your current recreational screen time rule. so that it is in a way, or it is in a way something where you can also make it more recreational. Next is offline activity plan. When you're actually planning your whole day, any type of offline activity will remove you from screen. So planning what is suitable for your entire family is something which you can you know plan in the put up in your family screen plan. Digital safety, being aware of what are all the issues which are happening online and providing a safe environment for your children is something which is very important. So learning about digital safety as a family is something which you could do while you're actually planning for your family screen plan. Next is sleep and exercise. I'm going to be sharing a screen where I'm going to tell you two different types of family screen plans. And in that, we have made the sleep and exercise as mandatory. These family screen plans are actually made with children in our mind. So the sleep type and all will be quite higher. So you could, you know, uh, change it according to how you would want based on your family's sleeping time and exercise time and all that. So child screen plan. So instead of family screen plan, we are calling this child screen plan. Here, there are two different types of screen times which are given. One is a 2.5 hour screen plan, and another is a 3.5 hour screen plan. So, what are all the things? This is a 24-hour window. The whole thing is about 24 hours, and we have divided it into different types of activities which your children can do apart from sleeping. So we have put two different sleeping times, which is 10.5 hours and 11.5 hours. uh, Keep in mind we are talking about children under the age of 10, so they do need this kind of sleeping time. So apart from that, what are all the other things which they would be doing? They'll go to school. Going to school would involve them being online, and then they'll have a reading time, they'll have a physical activity or sports time, and then some personal care time. Personal care time is they getting ready for the school and other things. Meal time, we have actually apportioned the entire day's meal time as 1 hour, and meal time is sometime some time where we tell the children to be screen free all the time. The reason why during meal time the children have to be screen free is because they will be they wouldn't even know what they will be eating. If there is some YouTube video running or some kind of a uh, cartoon running and they are eating, they'll not even be aware of what are the meals which they will be having. So that is one thing. And then the homework time, whatever is their homework time and all that. In one side we have a family time without any chores or jobs. Other one where we have actually added the chores and jobs, so that kind of takes up about an hour and a half of the children's time, and that will actually apportion a lot of their time, and that attributes towards reducing the screen time as well. What happens when you have this kind of a if you apportion some work for your children to do is, according to Montessori, the children actually develop discipline. They will be able to communicate, become better communicators. They will be better decision makers, and they will have more awareness of the family, of the practical things in life than other people. So that is why in Maria Montessori's methodology, exercises of practical life has been given as one of the major activities which has to be done in their lesson plan. Small things, even toddlers who are in the age group of 2 to 3, small things like rolling a mat, putting the vegetables in a basket, washing the vegetables, all those things, those kind of things and all, we ask the children to do it by themselves. And that actually helps parents also in a certain way, folding clothes and all that. It not just helps the parents, but improves the fine motor ability, vision, visual motor coordination, all those things for children. By doing all those things, they not just get physical ability, but also mentally they become agile, aware of the things which are required for their house, their planning for their house, and things which is required for other people. slowly they improve their empathy factor also. So that is why we kind of give more importance to the chores or the jobs which are to be done at home. We Indians, what we do is sometimes we tell, oh my god, you're a child, you don't have to do all those things, and you do instead for your child. This behavior is something which will just keep on going, and by the time your child is a teen, it is not like it is not surprising that your child wouldn't have gained any of these responsibilities, or would not be able to help you out when you need some kind of a support and help. And that is mainly because you as parents, you wouldn't have motivated your children to help at home. And that is why we include 1.5 hours of chores and jobs which your children can do at home. So these are some of the plans which we have. After this program, and we are actually handing out all the feedback forms to you. When you fill up the feedback forms, we will help you out with creating your child screen plan time as well, your family screen plan as well. So it's a 15-minute conversation where we will be discussing with you, analyzing your day, entire day, uh, planning your screen plan for you, and we will be providing it to you as well. So you can actually get in touch with us regarding that. So we, as we'll be helping you out in also finding out your parenting style. We can help you out in finding your child's interest areas. We can help you in monitoring your child's success, support, and we will be able to provide you with a complete plan of what all things your child can do post your child's classes, which will help them in becoming both whole brain active rather than right brain or left brain active. So all those things are part and parcel of our services from Codate. What you will be receiving once you fill up the feedback form is age specific screen guidelines, alternate activity plans which are again planned according to your child's age, age appropriate book list which we have curated over the past 1 year, family media plan, and approved apps for various topics like reading, music, and podcasts, blogging, so many things. Again, these are going to be divided according to the age group. So in the next 24 hours, you will be receiving all those things. The future programs which we are planning with you all is, next one comes next Sunday, where we will be talking exclusively about how you can improve your child's reading skills, reading readiness, and all using blended learning approach. Here, we will be talking about using screen time effectively for making your child become better readers. We will be providing you with some reading plans, and you will also be getting a list, a bigger list of reading books and all those things. Some online libraries which are there, which will help you get books for your children. Also some of our programs which we will be sharing with you, the apps which we will be sharing with you, which will help your children become better readers. The week following, we will be talking about writing skills. Writing skills, as in properly writing, may writing fine handwriting and all that. So fine handwriting doesn't come by only writing again and again. It involves posture, it involves grip, and it involves alignment of the paper and all that. So more than just making a child to write, it is important that we improve the strength and skill of the child. So that is why we will be having a very different kind of an approach. We'll be teaching, or we'll be sharing with you 3 different steps which will help your children become better writers. A natural continuation of this will be how you can use all these physical education which are being provided online, and improve your child's and your strength, flexibility, and how you can continue this even after the pandemic. Physical education is one thing where we are always used to doing it on a playground or in a gym and all that, but how we can use the things which are around us without spending much money, without investing in any gadgets or anything, improve our child's and our flexibility, strength, and all that. Last program in this series would be how you can choose a after school program based on your child's interest. In that program, we'll delve deeper into the interest areas of every children, and what is the interest area of your child, how to find out the interest area of your child, how you can make how you can make a decision on what kind of an after school program to choose based on what your child's interest is, how to research for this after school program, what to ask, what not to ask, those kind of things and all. So these are some of the things which we will be providing with you in the future. um that's true. Ragini, can you share the feedback form here? And this is time for you to ask any questions if you have about online education. I mean, how to control screen time and all that. I'm going to go back into the list of questions which parents have asked, and I'm going to address each of them. So let me stop sharing. Ragini, so Rajaselvam has shared a form over here. So parents, you can fill up that form to get all the info. Let me go to the questions asked by our parents, who are some of the parents here who have asked this. So the biggest concern, the question which we asked was, what is the biggest concern which you have in online learning for your child, right? One most important thing which we have addressed, I'm not going to touch about that, but addiction into online games is something which somebody has asked here, and the child's age is 7, so I'm assuming that it is all those small block games kind of a thing which you're asking about. See, uh, games, playing games online to a certain degree is something which we allow, which we recommend even, but we always tell that there is a time limit for all those things. So this brings me to another one topic which I wanted to share in the next program, but I'll share it now. What is how to control the screen time, reward or punishment? Will reward be something which will help your child uh, to have a better behavior, or punishment? I'll give you an example of why reward versus punishment debate arrives. If your child is having the screen with them, like a mobile phone with them, and you are asking the child to do something, if the child doesn't do that, then taking the mobile away is the punishment part. Whereas you telling the child, this work needs to be done now, once you finish and come back, I'll give you 10 more minutes of you to play with that game or whatever the child is doing, is the reward structure. So how you can actually move between reward and punishment is, whatever you want to do at that point, or whatever you want to say at that point of time. If you want to say that, if you don't do this, this will happen, or if you don't do this, I will do this, I'll switch off the Wi-Fi or some things like that. Whenever you have the impulse to tell that, parents, stop, think for a minute, see if that can be reworded into, um, if you do this, I will be able to give you extra of this. When you're providing with any of the rewards, we always tell that the reward should be measurable and manageable, and should not be anything which you purchase. Anything purchased, or even, if you say that I'll make your favorite dish, it is like equivalent to purchasing. Anything which you do not purchase is what you have to give as a reward to your children. It could even be as simple as drawing a small star on their hand or on a board and saying today's star collection or something like that. Every time your child does something nice, draw a star over there, and at the end of the day, get your child to count the number of stars they have got for the day, note it in some place, and say how many stars your child is getting every day. Have that kind of a reward structure, rather than saying, I'm going to punish you with this if you don't do this. So use that kind of a structure. I hope that was helpful for you. Another question is, hmm, focus and attention span of children. So that is also one of the major questions which has been asked. So what we have done here is, we have actually collected all the questions into bundles of the same type of questions. So the ones which were major, we have already filled up, and the remaining, I mean, we have already I'm seeing the chat and my mind gets confused over here. We have whatever we have already covered has been the major concern of most parents, and some of the smaller concerns are some things which we have addressed, just recently addressed. Focus and attention span is something which is very difficult to achieve if there is more screen time for your children. We generally recommend yoga for children, even for adults, mainly because it kind of brings that kind of balance in your body, which makes children aware of everything around them. And that yoga or some kind of a Indian martial arts or any martial arts is something which will bring balance to your child and thereby improve their attention span. Attention span and physical activities are so closely related. So all try this for a week's time and see. Every day as soon as your child is up, after the morning ablutions, do a 15-minute activity with your child. Do a 15-minute yoga activity or any kind of a tai chi or karate, whichever, 15 minutes, just 15 minutes, not more than that. I'm not asking too much also here. Do that for a week every day. You notice the difference in things which your child has been doing. Very keenly notice it over the week, and the next week you will see huge difference in the way in which your child will be interacting. So that is something which you can actually uh, immediately perceive, immediately see after a week's time. Okay, that's great. Yes, it really works, Ravinderji. So yeah, that is one of the major questions. So we will be stopping with this. We have come to the end of our time. If there is no more question over here in the chat, and we have already addressed most of the questions over there, we have some more questions. What we will be doing is every day on our Facebook group, we will be addressing those questions one by one, and I'll be having a short live video on the Facebook group, so that all the parents who have asked questions which are of very different nature, I'll just read out some of these questions for you to understand the kind of queries which we are getting. One is this focus and concentration, and all that is one of the major thing. We'll be sharing some more tips and tricks regarding um, improving focus and attention span, which will help them to go out of screen addiction and all that. Um, eye exercises is one of the things which has been asked. The next thing was eye exercises. So what I thought was the physical education activity program which we are having at the end of this month is something when I wanted to include the eye exercises which can be done. But since there are so many people who are asking for eye exercises, we will be sharing few eye exercises which you can do with your children, which will improve their eyes there, which will reduce the strain in their eyes and all that. Okay. And then not able to sit in a place and going out when, apart from playing games and all that during online classes, they are not interested and they are not sitting in a single place is one of the questions which is asked. We will be addressing that as well in the Facebook group, and in the next class, next session, sorry, just educators folly, always calling it a class. Okay. I understand that many of you want the physical education session sooner, but we have already planned it in such a way that next session is going to be about reading readiness, and we have our friends from Square Panda here who will also be a part of that program, where we will tell you how screen online reading readiness can be improved and all that. This has already been planned. We might not be able to change that. So we will see if something else can be done in the future workshops. um, Stay safe, stay healthy, all of you. We will be in touch via our emails and also in the Facebook group, and we will be sharing a lot of info for all of you. Thank you, all of you. Thanks for all the love and affection which you are showing for a Codate, and have a great weekend. Thank you. Thank you all.